Grand Theft Auto is the undisputed juggernaut of the entertainment industry. It breaks global records. It prints billions of dollars. It dominates modern pop culture every single day. But if you rewind the clock 30 years, you will find a completely different story. It is a story where the world's biggest game did not just struggle. It was a broken, unplayable disaster. In fact, the project was so bad that it was almost permanently thrown into a trash can. It almost never saw a store shelf. And the only reason it survived? A complete coding accident. In 1995, a tiny team of young developers were working inside a cramped office in Dundee, Scotland. They were not trying to build a game about criminal empires. The studio was called DMA Design. They were not trying to let you steal cars. They were not trying to let you run from the law. In fact, they were building the exact opposite. The game was originally titled Race and Chase, and the entire core concept was that you played as a law-abiding police officer. Your job was to drive carefully through a digital city. You had to hunt down car thieves. You had to hand out speeding tickets. You had to politely enforce the law. It was intended to be a safe, clean, realistic driving simulator for Windows 95. But there was a massive problem. Race and Chase was absolutely awful. According to the developers who were actually there, the car handling was appalling. The gameplay mechanics felt completely flat. The software would crash every single time they tried to load up a test build. It was not fun. It was not engaging. And the publisher, BMG Interactive, absolutely hated it. Month after month, development dragged on. The publisher tried to officially cancel the project multiple times. The game was on its absolute last legs. The developers were completely out of ideas. Until one afternoon, a broken line of computer code changed video game history forever. During a routine testing session on a new build of Race and Chase, a programmer made a tiny mistake. It was a small error inside the pathfinding algorithm. This was the artificial intelligence code. It told the computer cars how to drive. The code was supposed to make the police cars follow the player smoothly. They were supposed to pull up behind you. They were supposed to signal you to stop. Instead, the bug completely scrambled the police AI's brain. The code made the police cars treat the player's vehicle as their final physical destination. In short, the cops became completely psychopathic. Suddenly, the police were not trying to arrest anyone. They were driving through red lights. They were smashing through civilian traffic. They were ramming into the player's car at full, unhinged speeds. If you stopped your vehicle, they would relentlessly batter you. They would smash your car until it caught fire and exploded. It was total, unpredictable, chaotic warfare on the screen. The game was completely broken, but when the playtesters sat down to document the bug, something strange happened. They did not want to fix it. They abandoned the linear missions entirely. They ignored the rulebook. They spent hours just trying to survive against the aggressive, homicidal police cars. The developers realized a profound truth that day. Playing as a cop handing out speeding tickets was incredibly boring. But playing as a criminal running for your absolute life, that was pure adrenaline. The team immediately held an emergency meeting. They made the executive decision to completely flip the script. They threw out the entire police simulator concept. They changed the player's role to a hardened criminal, and they rebranded the entire project under a provocative new title. Grand Theft Auto was officially born. Releasing a game about stealing cars and running over pedestrians in 1997 was incredibly dangerous. The media went into an absolute frenzy, but the developers did not run away from the chaos. Instead, they decided to use it as their ultimate weapon. The publisher hired a legendary British PR expert named Max Clifford, and his strategy was completely brilliant. He did not try to convince people that the game was safe. Instead, he intentionally leaked stories to right-wing British tabloids. He actively tried to get politicians to ban his own product. The trap worked perfectly. The game was fiercely debated in the UK House of Lords. Conservative politicians openly condemned it. Every single news outlet gave it free front-page coverage. The public outrage created millions of pounds in free advertising. By the time Grand Theft Auto finally launched, it had a massive reputation. It was the ultimate forbidden fruit. It was the one game every single teenager on Earth absolutely had to own. The strategy proved that controversy was the fast track to absolute success. In 2001, the franchise changed forever. The developers rebranded the studio as Rockstar North. and they made the monumental leap into full 3D with Grand Theft Auto 3. It was a total revolution. Players were no longer looking down at pixels. They were walking through a massive, breathing 3D world called Liberty City. It gave gamers a level of absolute freedom that had never been seen before in media history. Once again, the media completely panicked. News channels targeted the game for its violence. But the controversy only made the brand totally uncancelable. Rockstar leaned directly into Hollywood cinema. They created massive cultural masterpieces like Vice City and San Andreas. Today, Grand Theft Auto 5 is one of the most profitable entertainment products in human history, and the gaming world is currently holding its breath for Grand Theft Auto 6. But none of this would exist without that original Scottish office. A simple programming mistake turned a boring police simulator into an absolute goldmine. A broken line of code did not just save a failing project, it accidentally invented the future of the entire video game industry.